I remember seeing this controller at GameStop as a kid. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of fighting games on Wii, so it wasn't very necessary. It did feel nice to use it for like old Wii shop games, like the classic store, because you could use it for old arcade games. So like it was a nice thing to have. But I actually only bought it for fighting games. This is when I fell in love with the noir layout, by the way. Like this long ago. Because the other stick I had like a PS2 stick. I think it was this one. There it was. This is the first stick I ever had. This was not. This is why I praise the Hori Mini. I've been using the Hori Mini since I was a child, since I was a baby child. Did I ever tell the story of why, like, of how I got my first arcade stick and why? Did I ever tell you guys? I can't wait for my noir panel to come in. You're using a Wrap 4, right? A Wrap 4 Kai, and you're putting a noir panel on it. I want to get one, a noir panel, but I don't want to take the artwork off of my Wrap 4 Kai because it's the actual base artwork. But mine, it says silent because it was the silent edition. So I don't want to have to like get artwork made or whatever, or get that artwork like repositioned and redone for noir. But like it would be cool to have a noir panel on that because I like that stick a lot. I just don't use it that much because it's Vuelix. And if I'm gonna use a Vuelix stick, I'll just fucking use my Q8 or I'll use my big tricks. Um, so when I was a small baby child, I was a weirdo. I played Soul Calibur. I think it was Soul Calibur 3, and that was the first one where you could bind buttons. Maybe it was 2, but there was a local Soul Calibur 3 tournament at a arcade slash like game store. I think it was called like a Casual Gamer slash like Play Again or whatever. And it might have even been the precursor to that store. Now that I think about it, but I played. It was a 4 button fighter. Instead of using the 4 face buttons, and for Soul Calibur, it's A. Wait, it's A. Oops. B, K, G, or horizontal, vertical, kick, and guard. Instead of using the face buttons and the D-pad on like a PS4 DualShock 1, I used the top buttons. I had mine set to A, B, K, G. So this was my guard, this was my kick, this was my horizontal, and this was my vertical. And I would use the thumbstick. So I would use the thumbstick. I was a kid. Fuck off. I would use the thumbstick and these 4 top buttons as because I liked the actuation of these over face buttons, right? Over face buttons, I liked the actuation of the triggers. And that was before they had like analog, like real good analog triggers. So it was basically just 4 buttons at the top. I had one of the early Dual Shocks that didn't have analog motion. I think it was a PS1 one that happened to still work on PS2 for some reason. I don't remember what the issue with it was. But it didn't have. You remember the old PS1 ones, right? How at the top they had buttons, not triggers, so they didn't have analog. They were just full digital, right? Um, so I had this. I was using this plus these, and I went to a Soul Calibur 3 tournament, and some guy saw me playing that way. I think I had just beat him or like one of his friends or something, and he was like, "How did you hold your controller, little man?" And I was like this," and I like pulled up the controller and I like had my fingers on the back buttons. He was like, "What do you use those for?" I was like, "Oh, these are my attack buttons because you can bind them." So I put them here. I don't really like the buttons. I think I said it just like that. I was a little kid, man. And he saw me like using the thumbstick, and he was like, "Hey, like here, I have this in my backpack," and he like pulled out one of these right here, and he said, "How does this feel? Does this feel better?" And I like started pressing the buttons, and they were like loud and clicky, and the joystick was like loud and clicky, and I was like, "Ooh, right?" And like I was like, "Yeah, like I said this feels natural, I think, or something like that, right?" And he said, "Hey, like if you do well in the tournament today, just like give me your winnings or whatever, and you can have this, or give me some of your winnings, whatever." I don't remember exactly what it was, and he was like, "You can have this," and I was like, "Okay, sure." And he was like, "You're supposed to shake on deals," so like he put out his hand, and I shook his hand. He was taller than me, so I was like this, and then I think I went on to win with this. I went on to win like this, by the way, like thumbstick plus the fucking back buttons. And he's running for that. And I think it was like a store gift card for like $50 and $25 or something. It was like $25 cash and a store gift card for $50. I gave him the store gift card and he gave me the stick. So I took this stick home because I had a PS2. I had a copy of Soul Calibur 3. I don't remember what other games I had for my PS2. I didn't have a lot. I think I had like Naruto, Ultimate Ninja 1, and and like Tenkaichi. I couldn't use it for Tenkaichi, unfortunately. Hey, what up? How you doing, Gridlock? What's up, man? Um, this was my first arcade stick because some dude looked at me funny for the way I used to play on pad as a kid because I played with the top four buttons and this with for four button games. I played the same way for VF, by the way. VF I also did ABG or punch kick guard. I just didn't bind this one, so I'd have these three plus the thumbstick as a kid. Like it was very natural for me. I probably did it in Tekken too. I don't remember for Tekken. I didn't play a lot of Tekken outside of arcades. Um, my brothers liked Tekken more than I did. I liked Soul Calibur more than my brothers did, and Bloody Roar. Bloody Roar, for some reason, I was fine with using the face buttons. I think it was because you needed L and R. Ooh, I think it was because you needed L and R in Bloody Roar to sidestep, not up and down like VF and Soul Calibur. So I probably just got used to pressing these as sidestepping, so I didn't want to like mess that muscle memory up. They rushed me down with add rushdown lock with add rushdown pressure. They actually did. Guess right. So that's why, in my heart of hearts, I have like a small love for the Hori Mini, and I always like try to recommend to people who need it, who I think it'll work as a first stick for. But I think there's like issues with the new model. I like raffled it away. I did like a $1 entry tournament at my locals, and I think there was like 15 entrants or something. And whoever placed the highest outside of me, so that I wouldn't just win it, would win the PS5 Hori Mini. And so I basically paid $60 for that stick to review it for my YouTube channel, and then raffled it off or did a little tournament for $1 ahead. 15 people entered for Soul Calibur, and whoever got the highest won. I think it was Fathomless King. He got the highest.